Welcome back to the Little Marketing Podcast, where we share practical real-life advice for small businesses all around Australia. So today's episode is going to be all about something that comes up a lot when we're speaking to small business owners, and it's also something that I think can quietly hurt businesses more than they actually realize, and that's all about confused marketing. Now, when people think that their marketing isn't working, their first thoughts are, well, maybe we need a better ad. Maybe we just need to be posting more on our socials. Maybe we need to do a rebrand and update our logo, or maybe they need to spend more money. But a lot of the time, the actual reason is that their business is confusing people. Their messaging is unclear, their positioning is also unclear, and their communication is all over the place. And then that means that their customers and their clients are left trying to figure out what this business actually does. And the reality is that most customers and clients are not going to sit around trying to figure out what you do. And in most cases, they're going to move on to the next best thing, to a business that feels clearer and easier to trust. So today we're just going to talk a bit about what confused marketing actually looks like, how it's hurting your business, and some things that small businesses can do to simplify it. So one of the most interesting things is that small businesses, they don't actually realize that they're confusing their customers because internally it makes sense to them. You know, they know what they do, they know what their services are, and they know what their background is. But then when you actually step back and look at the business from a customer's perspective, it looks a bit messy. Their website says one thing, social media says another thing. The visuals are giving off a different vibe, and then when you're actually speaking to someone from the business, it's changing again. So your customers end up unsure about who the business is for, what they're specializing in, and why they're different. So it might sound small, but it actually has a big impact on marketing performance. So another thing that small businesses probably don't think about is that their customers and clients don't have time to sit there flicking through every page of your website trying to figure out what you do. They want quick clarity, and they're going to want to know, can you help me? What can you do for me? Do I trust you? And are we the right fit? And that's really it. So the businesses that can communicate that clearly are often the ones that feel more professional and easier to trust. So another issue that's a big cause of confused marketing is a small business trying to do everything. You know, they're trying to target everybody, they're trying to offer every service, they're trying to be active on every platform, and they're trying to follow every new trend on socials. And I can understand why they do this, because as a small business, you obviously don't want to miss an opportunity. But as we spoke about in a few podcasts earlier, trying to cater to everyone is going to water down your messaging, and then it becomes too weak and no one can trust you and they don't know what you do. And again, something that we've spoken about a lot on our podcast is positioning. So if you've been listening for a while, you've probably heard us touch on this quite a bit. So positioning is how your business sits in the minds of your customers and clients. That is different to your competition. A strong positioning creates clarity, and it's going to help customers quickly understand what you do, who you help, where you do it, and why they should choose you over the competition. And then when that becomes clear, everything's going to feel much easier within your marketing. Your content's going to become easier, your website's going to be easier, your messaging becomes easier, and then even your conversations with your clients and your customers is going to be easier as well. So the reason that today's episode is called The Hidden Cost of Confused Marketing is that because confused marketing doesn't always look dramatic. Small businesses can still be getting inquiries, they might still be making sales, and they might still be relatively busy, but underneath all that, the confused marketing is actually going to be costing them more opportunities. It might mean that they have lower conversion rates, weaker referrals, people forgetting their business. It could be customers choosing competitors, or marketing taking way longer than it should to work. And often small businesses respond to this by doing more marketing. So they do more ads, they do more social posts, they're going to be spending more. But if the message itself is unclear, then doing more marketing isn't necessarily going to fix anything. Another thing that we see quite often with small businesses is that they get frustrated when the marketing's not going anywhere, and then they change the direction. One month they might be saying one thing about their business, the next month they've changed the direction again, then they try to change their branding, and then they're jumping on a new trend. But marketing works best with consistency and repetition over time. And the truth is that your customers and clients are probably going to need to see your business a few times for that to feel trustworthy to them. So if your messaging is just going to keep changing every month, then customers don't get a chance to understand what the business actually stands for. Clear businesses usually feel more trustworthy. And when a small business communicates clearly and effectively, then their customers and clients naturally feel more at ease. There's a lot of certainty there, and your customers and clients want to feel like they know exactly what you do and that they know exactly that you can help them. If you're listening to today's episode thinking, yeah, my marketing sounds a bit all over the place, here are a few simple things that you can do. You can ask yourself, can your customers quickly understand what you do? Are you trying to say too many things at once? Are you speaking to too many audiences? Does your website maybe not align with your socials and your branding? And are you repeating your message consistently enough? Because usually improving your marketing isn't about adding more. It can just be about simplifying things and creating more clarity and then being really consistent with it. And at the end of the day, the businesses that are performing the best aren't necessarily the ones doing the most, but they're the ones who are the clearest about what they do. So hopefully today's episode gave you something to think about within your own small business and your own marketing. And as always, thank you for tuning into the episode. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you need some more info, you could head to our website, which is littlemarketing.com.au. You could visit our socials for some more information, or even send us an email at ask@littlemarketing.com.au.
Please note that all the information provided on this podcast is general in nature and is not intended to be specific advice to your individual situation. Please be sure to engage a professional for a customized approach to your business and personal circumstances.